You owe the IRS $50,000, maybe $100,000. Heck, maybe it's $500,000. You don't know exactly how much, but you do know you're way behind. You probably have a year or two that you didn't even file, and you really want to get this behind you. Is it possible to settle with the IRS for less than you owe? And how do you do it? I'm going to show you how. So you're behind with your taxes or with your filings or both. I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is you don't have to pay the IRS in full for what you owe them. They're happy to set up a monthly pay plan. Now, the bad news is many taxpayers rush into a monthly pay plan and agree to an amount that they can't afford. They take whatever they owe, they divide it by however many months they owe on the payment plan. It comes up to some exorbitant monthly payment amount, works for 3 or 4 months. Then the taxpayers realize, I can't afford this. And the IRS terminates the agreement. And then you're in worse shape than when you started. There's other alternatives besides a monthly pay plan. And guess what? They give you the opportunity to settle for less than what you actually owe. So I'm going to share those with you now. The number one way is through what's called an offer in compromise. Now, I know you've probably heard this advertised ad nauseum on late night TV by the national tax relief companies. It's their lead card, and it sounds too good to be true, I know. The fact of the matter is, the offer in compromise program is real, and you can benefit from it if you work the program according to the formula. What do I mean by that? So, you have to submit an offer via Form 656. On this offer form, you calculate, document, and apply for what is called your reasonable collection potential as being the amount that you will settle with the IRS for. Will they accept it? Well, if you document the numbers and it's according to the strict IRS formula, yes, they will. I've had situations where we've saved a taxpayer tens of thousands of dollars. I've had situations where we've saved a taxpayer hundreds of thousands of dollars via an offer in compromise that got accepted. Now, it's not an easy process and it's not a short one. Right now, the IRS is so far behind, it's taking 12 to 18 months to get offers accepted. But hey, if you could save $40,000 or $300,000, it's worth the 12-month investment in time. Don't you agree? That's the first way to settle for less with the IRS. What's number two? Number two is called a partial pay installment agreement. Now, what is that? How does that work? Well, most people who set up an installment agreement with the IRS simply do it based on whatever they owe divided by the number of months. Example, you owe the IRS $84,000. They'll give you 84 months to pay. It's $1,000 a month plus interest. What if you didn't calculate it based on amount and time? What if you set the whole thing up based on your ability to pay? Well, you can through a partial pay installment agreement. How do you do it? You send in Form 433 to the IRS. On this form, you document that you have living costs that are within IRS local and national allowances on a monthly basis. In other words, the IRS has local and national standards for what it might take to feed a family of 2 or a family of 4, or what it might take to house a family of 2, depending on your location, because the standards in Boston are different than they are in South Boston, Virginia. But that being said, if you can document that you can't afford to make the payment the IRS wants you to make, after you list your expenses and then you show what is left after your expenses, if there's not enough to pay the IRS their amount, they will accept a lower amount. Why? Because the IRS is constrained by federal law. Federal law prohibits the IRS from collecting an amount that will impair the well-being of your family. That's federal law. They have to live within it. So that's the second way you can settle for less. What's number three? Number three is called penalty abatement. And yes, you guessed it. I'm sitting here at a Starbucks. It's a Friday afternoon. Not the best place to record a video, but I had some time and I thought, I've got some helpful information here. I might as well just get it out to taxpayers who could benefit from it. Number three is a penalty abatement. There's 2 types of penalties: late filing penalties and late payment penalties. I recently had a taxpayer who owes the IRS over $700,000. Now, it's a huge case. He hadn't filed for years, very successful in real estate, but now wants to get things resolved. And guess what? Of that 700,000, 136,000 of it is interest, and over 25,000 of it is just penalties. What can we do to get rid of the penalties? Well, there's two types of penalty abatement. The first is called first-time abatement. What is that? First-time abatement is a policy the IRS has where if you had been current and filing timely for a number of years, but then all of a sudden 1 year you missed, then they will abate the penalty if you simply ask for it on a first-time penalty abatement basis. The second type of penalty abatement is called reasonable cause. What's reasonable cause? Well, what if you live in an area where there was a hurricane and records got destroyed? Well, it'd be reasonable for you not to be able to file on time. What if you had a family member who was terminally ill and you were so absorbed in the care for that family member that you missed the filing deadline? That could be reasonable cause. What if you're an employer who has a payment to make to the IRS, but you also have to make payroll? Go ahead and make the payroll. The IRS, believe it or not, will accept that if you document it and present it properly as reasonable cause for not making a payment on time, and they will abate the penalty based on reasonable cause. So that's the third way. So far we've talked offers in compromise, we've talked partial pay installment agreements, we've talked penalty abatement. What's the fourth way to settle for less with the IRS? Well, this is a legal procedure known as bankruptcy. Now, you'd need to talk to an attorney to get this done, but I will caution you, not all tax debt is released in bankruptcy. In fact, many attorneys in the bankruptcy field don't take the time to study what is going to be released and what is not. They just file the doggone bankruptcy, and then 3 or months later, they find out, oops, well, that federal tax debt did not get cleared. And, you go back to the attorney and you say, what the heck happened? And they say, well, the IRS didn't accept it. Well, it should be no surprise. We know what the IRS will release and what they won't if you file for bankruptcy. They will release older debt. They will not release what's called priority debt in bankruptcy. Priority debt is generally debt that's been filed within the last 2 years or which the tax year has been within the last 3 years. That's priority debt. That cannot get released in bankruptcy. But I'm currently working with a taxpayer who had back tax debt from 2007 through 2012. It's been all good since, but they accumulated about 100 grand in tax debt over that period. Well, guess what? That's very old debt at this point. And I'm sure because there's a 10-year statute of collections limitation rule, the IRS can't collect after 10 years. I'm sure some of that debt can be wiped out due to the statute of limitations, and the rest of it can probably be wiped out via bankruptcy. So these are some great ways to settle with the IRS for less. I just want to caution you when you talk with someone about settling for less, because it sounds too good to be true. It's often the lead card that many tax relief companies start to present to you because it whets your appetite. It draws you in. That's usually they say, hey, we'll settle for less. We'll make an offer in compromise. Well, only 40% of offers in compromise are actually accepted. And so there's a large percentage of people sign up with these tax relief companies. They promise them we're going to go get an offer in compromise. They don't qualify. You pay them all this money in advance for their fees. Then when it doesn't work out, you don't know who to talk to, and getting something fixed or resolved so you can put your tax problem behind you is very difficult in picking up the pieces because they couldn't get you the offer in compromise that you jumped for and which they charged you for right up front. Please talk with someone who you trust. Get a tax professional who you know and like and believe will work in your best interest. Well, enough of my soapbox. I'm Jim Flaus. I trust this information has been helpful to you today. There's many ways you can settle with the IRS. There's other programs available too. And so if you need help or have questions, please contact me. I'm here to help. Jim Flaus, Anchor Tax Relief. That's it for this time. We'll see you next time. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more updates on how to resolve your IRS tax mess.